Hi and welcome. So this is the third part of this mini series today. I've done four parts to this series because I really want to help divine feminines understand the journey, but also understand it from a place of not a toxic element of the journey, and how to really shift, how to know that you're shifting and moving on this journey, and how to release that toxic element and the painful element and reclaim your power and really step into seeing that this is the biggest gift that is ever been given to you. So how do you know when divine masculine is shifting? How do you know when they're, starting to really acknowledge what the journey is? Well, you know from your own energy, not from looking at them. Once you start to let go of them, once you start to really fully focus on you, and you start to align with your soul and move into that higher state of frequency. And at that point, as you start to alchemize the energy, you start to release the physical form. You know that you are one. You know that you have always been one. And sometimes that ego might come into play and there'll be a little bit of doubt. But once you shift into that higher state, you will recognize and know deep within your soul that this is a spiritual journey. You will also acknowledge that it is time to surrender. Now, I want to let you know that surrender is very different to giving up. This is not a giving up, but it's also not about patience and waiting. It's about acknowledging that, yes, your spiritual journey happened from divine masculine coming in and activating you. But now you, as the divine feminine, are reclaiming your power. You are now here to shine your light. You are here as that beautiful, energetic being to shift into that higher state. And often people go, okay, so do I need to manifest? Do I need to do mantras? No, this is an energetic shift. You energetically shift by releasing toxic elements, by starting to shift into soul, by getting out in nature, by meditating, by treating this as your spiritual awakening and knowing that you are on an incredible journey. And as you start to shift, as you start to release, as you start to bring your energy back to that centered space, you will start to move into a Zen and a Satori state. A Satori state is when you start to collapse down the duality of seeing things as good or bad. You start to shift into a state of oneness, of knowing that actually you are creating your reality. And actually you are here to always align, to always ascend into a higher state. And you start to realize that you are in the world, but you are not from the world. I often talk about you are everything, but you are also equally nothing. You see, when you identify as mind and ego, this is often when we see things as good or bad. Identifying things as good or bad can cause pain, can cause attachment. When we release and let go and realize that everything comes into our world through that magnetic force, and that once we shift our vibration and we shift into a higher state, guess what? The universe is always responding. And actually, we're not the physical body. Yes, it's our little avatar while we're here. We're not the mind and ego. That's just here to help and guide us. And it's not a bad thing, is the mind and ego. It's just that we're beyond that. We are soul, and soul is formless. Soul is consciousness. And when we start to move into that higher state of consciousness, we then start to realize that actually everything that we have brought into our life, we have brought in to help us grow and expand. And at this point, you will often see divine masculine start to come back in. Now, they may come back in energetically, they may come back in the physical. But once again, it is about you keeping your energy in that very neutral state. At this point, there will be no running and chasing at all. You will both be able to be in each other's presence in a very zen state. You will not really feel triggered either way. Now, sometimes, a lot of the time, at this point, you can magnetize in a soulmate. And that soulmate can come in on a very high frequency. And this can confuse people at so many levels. And often at this point, and I've worked with many people over the last couple of weeks that are at this stage, and their twin flame is magnetized in, the twin flame's not running, not chasing, is just there. But they've also magnetized in a very high level soulmate, so much so that soulmate is nearly the same vibration as their other self. And at this point, sometimes people can question, was that my twin flame or is this my twin flame? Which one is it? And at this point, I want you to release it and know that really the label means nothing. And at this point, you start to get to choose what you want and you require. And at this point, sometimes people do choose their other self. Other people choose a soulmate. Now, if you're early on in the journey, you are going to go. That could even trigger you off the scale. But at this point, it is about knowing that because you have shifted into that high frequency and that high state of consciousness, the universe now is starting to deliver everything into your vibration that is matching your vibration. And so that is why at this point you can attract in a very high level soulmate or an old relationship. Say you were in a marriage and, you know, the marriage has been like this and you weren't meeting each other's needs. Sometimes that soulmate can really up level to the point that you question it and you go, was I even on a twin flame journey? And let go of the label. Allow your heart to open at this point. Go and surrender. Go in with no expectations. Remember, on this journey, twin flame journey, if you have expectations are toxic on this journey. This journey activates your core wounds. Your core wounds, by now, you have really neutralized a lot of them. You've worked out, you've released and dissipated those lower vibrations in lots of ways. Still, things will be rising, but you will alchemize them very easy and very beautifully. And at this point, it's up to you to keep that open heart and know that this journey is a journey of oneness. This journey is a journey of moving and shifting into a higher state of consciousness. Check out part 4 for the next part and the next installment. If you need more help and support on this journey, then my website is there. Also, my Divine Feminine Inner Temple is there. It is an incredible space, and it is for all divine feminines that are reclaiming their power, that are shifting into that higher state of consciousness, that are really wanting to align with their power, align with their light. It's on my website. You can join and you get instant access. Last month, it was all about womb healing and reclaiming that beautiful sacral power. We know the sacral is all about creative energy. We know the sacral is where we reclaim and rebirth ourselves. Friday the 1st of March, I believe it is. If you're watching this live, on Friday we go into the next month because it's the 1st of March and it's all about balancing the divine feminine and the divine masculine. There's workbooks, There is life circles, there are activations, meditations, moon energy. You basically get new information throughout the month to help and support you on your growth. At the moment, it's £30 a month. I say pounds, I'm in England, and you can join, and it's there to support you. It's one of the most reasonable things out there to help and support you as a divine feminine in your expansion, in your growth, and really seeing this as the biggest gift that ever happened to you. I send you so much love. Many blessings.